guy's been ranked 1 leaderboard every act in Asia. Every pro is scared of him. If what everyone says about Primmie is true, we now have one of the biggest X factors in all of Valorant.
The reason why we qualified for champs last year is because we put in so much effort every day in work. So as a player, I've always wished to lift a trophy before I retire. So I hope this season will be the season that I lift the trophy.
Everything matters for Talon. It's the Thailand team who wants to represent at Masters Bangkok. We saw
After waiting for months, the ranked demon from the east is finally back for blood in the main stage of the VCT Pacific with Talon.
the victors from the Charades game with Bella. This is their prize. They get some...
No, I do think...
The first map of the series is split, and Talon started on attack side, with double duelist and initiator comp versus a heavy defense side with Cypher and Deadlock. Talon was only able to win 2 rounds on their attack half. It's understandable since they are against this comp.
But they still prefer to keep that open, and Poppy gets teamed out immediately, and then there's a follow-up in mid as well. I don't think that was fully expected, right? Maybe they baited out baited out some peaks from G by, you know, trying to spam down the barrier mash and things like that. Yeah, I mean, you look at Trip's just going to be destroyed, all the pockets being destroyed as well with the salvos, and then it's just the judge and close range carry on. Okay, that's the right click, but he's not going to be able to survive for much longer. At the same time, you just don't really have much to work with. I wouldn't mind if they just went to the spike, but they're just going to give away so many ult points, and Talon once again surviving with 4 people. Rounds, but Kelly S alongside Yudotan have been stopping them time and time again. Look at this, the barrier mesh. Oh no. Oh, they managed to shoot it down though, so still able to slip on. He hasn't checked backside. He hasn't checked backside. No. He hasn't sent for Poppy. Poppy's still holding in the back of sight. The panic coming through for Talon MChose, but he's going to skirt around it. He's still surviving. Crystal comes in for support, and now Talon scattering across the entire map. Oh, and there's a little gap for Poppy to stay alive in, but still flushed out of position. Jitboy is able to gun him down. He's towards the back now. It's all up for Global Esports to try to come in with yet another retake. 2-on-2, Cruz up from Evan. Unfortunately, Jitboy falls. He swings, and that's Darian to pick up the double kill at the end of it. We end the first half 10-2. Room. Now you've got potentially, in theory, another round to go as well. So we'll see how they try to snowball that by. Good flick over from Ban. If they lost Ban there, I think the round starts to fall apart. But they're able to keep that numbers advantage.
They won their pistol and eco on their defense side, with Ban getting an ace, losing bonus, and winning 2 more rounds after that.
There it is, back in the elbow with the Marshall as well. So huge sightline, and he definitely spots things out. Goes for the re-peek. That's a 3rd kill. Swaps over onto the ghost just for Adam Master, and this could be the ace. It is. He lands it.
Talon was an on for a comeback, but round 18 is where GE turned it around with an Astro Wall on the post plant and Yudotan going huge on A ramps.
For it. So straight into the A site, and instantly Ban kind of leaves it open. So a bit of a retake setup. The off shot does take one of the players down as well, so that's instant value too. You have to hold on to screens because you don't have that barrier mesh anymore. Trying to keep that there. Rolling Thunder though will connect into the site, but Jitboys kind of avoids it. I mean, Poppy avoids it for now, so maybe a little bit of an opportunity. Yudotan able to spam and spray through as they all try to push out off the Rolling Thunder. Now it's all down to just Ban. And he's got the op, tries to peek out, but Yudotan takes him down once again. It is GE up to match point.
With Global Esports on match point and Talon having a bad economy, GE were able to close out split.
Of them trying to go in for maybe the trade setup as well, right? Peeking off of each other, but the Boombot now comes out, just defend even more than back. Peeking out of the cage, unfortunately, the timing of it all, it's just a setup for GE to react back into the utility that they sent through. Primmie tries to stay alive into the corner, a bit of a one and done. He's able to get away with 2, but it's still not enough. Jitboy still owning a sheriff as well. See if he can get in range to pick anything up, but Poppy looks like he's ready to shut that down. Now look at the positions. I mean, GE all ready to just pick off these 1v1s. Over by Poppy. He's not looking. Shitboys, does he find a timing? He does! Now a 2v1. 1v1 down to Crystal versus Shitboys. Just trying to hold it up around the spike. Side of elbow, he peeks out, and that's gonna be the headshot just in an instant. 13-6, Global Esports ends the first map. Really, really well played from GE, and I think we saw a little bit of the undercooked moments from Talon even in that last round. They're trying to peek out on that Rams control. They still had so much util. You have to just invest with the explosions to take over areas and then hold on to it, but they hesitated. They sent Governor out alone with just the drone. It doesn't quite check the right corner, and Crystal's able to gun down the Raze and then take space onto the site. And so, we're gonna have to see a little bit of retooling from Talon, but for now, both teams will have to focus on to the next one.
The next map is Abyss. Global Esports pulled out a chamber pick out of their hat. I was happy to see Talon using Viper on this meta, along with Astra, and we'll get to see different Viper walls for controlling mid on this map.
Controller with the Viper mixed in, and Primmie is on the deadlock this time. For GE, they're also changing. Darion's going onto a chamber. You already saw him opping on Pearl, so they're really backing the Darion op here.
We get to see Darion getting set up by Crystal on the Sova in A main, but Talon did a good job at forcing the chamber off the angle.
A bit more. Deep recon for a very aggressive position. These are the things you can afford to do with that chamber. We saw some of that chamber coming out from the Americas as well, where you're able to take so many different off angles with that rendezvous. Pulling it. A little bit of an off angle though from this side. Spotted, spots the Neon, but couldn't quite deal with the slide, so at least he gets away in time. Full control, it's putting in a lot of that pressure, cutting off some of that rotate, and then Ban putting pressure onto Vents right now as well, trying to go for a deep wraparound. Annihilation is going to be able to catch Unotan. That should soften the defenses. He's hiding away. They're not quite sure. Has he dropped or has he not? They can't quite make up their mind. He drops. He's not going to get that kill. Primmie holding the angle, able to react in kind. Still though, you're taking a look at how Ban is effectively lurking out from the back. GE, they try to push on through. They're still up in towards heaven, trying to make use of some of these sight lines. Crystal, he actually hears Ben. I mean, kind of thinking about it, kind of able to swing back to take him down.
In this round, Chamber is getting set up in mid with a very aggressive push, and he was still able to get out after a kill.
The answer is, let's take them out in mid.
Good for the fight. Down to the tour de force. The first shot down into Governor, and all of a sudden, Talon has to back off. It's a hurt, especially in the last round, the first half right now. But then trying to come in with the stack into the B site now, just trying to flood on through with that fast lane. Governor straight into the relay bolts, trying to hide around the site itself. Annihilation does connect into KLES, but Unotan with the off angles, a second kill, looks for the third. Trying to hold down the angles, goes in for the spray, it commits, but unfortunately doesn't quite connect. It's the Annihilation that connects into Poppy as well. So back to even numbers now. Darren on and off.
Now last round, so you just go for it. Trying to draw their attention, trying to get them to peek. And if not, he does have his teammate Crystal. He's already now arrived at the site, but they're ready for it. They realize something's off. It's just the op shots. That's a distraction. We gotta keep our eyes peeled. Darion gets one. It's a good distraction. The timing's perfect for Crystal. Now trying to scout out where the last member is. Time not on the side of GE. They still need to get the kill and go for the defuse. Tries to jump. Ban gets one kill. Crystal just keeps him at bay. He's trying to stick to half, but Ban is not giving him that chance. And Talon.
Both teams were even going through the first half.
Grafnet out as well, just in case he was right around the corner, but able to hold out back far enough. Governor, though.
And it's a good crossfire. Unotan gets the trade, keeps Tellius alive for another kill onto the side of GE. Now suddenly a 4v2. Talon no longer having any form of an advantage. There's a fault line just to keep the Neon.
GE won their pistol and eco on attack and lost on bonus. But then round 18 came, and Talon won every round and eventually closing out Abyss.
So continuing to try to hold for it, but it is that double sonic sensor setup on the A side again.
And nobody watching for it. Crew's just going to be the eyes to make sure that they don't come towards Primmie. If they do, he'll notify him. Primmie's ready for that shot. He's always so clean with the rifle. They know they're coming.
Trying to break it. Primmie thinking about pulling out the utility.
Yeah, but he holds. Barrier mesh off the drone to make sure there's no quick follow-up.
So now that's a bit of util and a bit of a rotation being pulled over to the A site now.
Yeah, the operator being repositioned, not quite spotted in mid just yet. Darion never peeked out, so this is the whole idea after that timeout, right? Is put pressure on one side, do they push out of mid, then Darion picks up the kill. But you're never really gonna try to aggressively fight in mid because you just don't have the advantage. Now with a lack of information, GE, they wanna go for a fake, but already Crystal taken down. Yudotan, not quite spotted. Oh, maybe it looks like he has been. Util trained. Uh-oh. He's just gonna hold on. They're not quite sure if he's still there or not, but Yudotan's just going to wait.
Then you gotta look for Ban's position closer towards the B site. Such a good spot. He wasn't spotted or anything, but now GE thinking back to rotate.
But they heard him. Ban heard them start running. You look at the positions. Talon, they're still holding strong, and Jitboy's just making sure it's not a wraparound through mid. This is going to be an absolute crash, and they just have to sprint in for the spike. It's only 10 seconds left. The op trying to get a shot, and there's the overdrive. It takes down everybody as Primmie and Governor hold on to the site. Good positioning from Ban. Down far into A main. Now a slow creep towards B as you hear the drone coming in, but you never were meant to fill the site. Look at Jitboy's position. He just wants to hold on to max site.
This is all GE has. It has to be the B site. Spike planted now at the very least, and they're gonna have to try to hold it so far back in towards Nest, back in towards main. You're watching for the potential flanks and in for the floods through stairs as well. At least the stars are up. And Poppy's trying to work alongside them, but the fast lanes in his face. Darion just to watch his back. Darion unfortunately gets gunned down by Jitboys now though from stairs, and Poppy doing his best to try to anchor around the site. And off the timing of things, that's when Cruz comes out from the back. Poppy gunned down. Crystal, the only one left, and he's way too far from the site. Sends out the recon, but Jitboys is sticking the defuse, and there it is. Talon closes out the second map, 13-9. We are going to a map 3.
The patience from Talon there to wait for Cruz to fully get the flank. Governor, he jumps down and he just says, well, it's either you coming into the smoke for me when I'm only the shorty, or we're just dancing around until I get more backup. They slowly just encroach onto that site, and then the moment Cruz gets that kill onto Kelly, as suddenly everybody floods right onto the spike. It's a great retake from Talon Esports, looking a lot better on this map too. And maybe the desk was right. Maybe it was just that, first game back on the big stage jitters, and Talon has shaken them off.
Over with whatever you got, but we do.
Lotus is the decider map of the series, and Global Esports keeps surprising me with these comps. This time with a triple sentinel comp starting on defense side, and Talon using their comp from 2024 when Primmie debuted with their match against Team Secret.
Versus Deadlock on Lotus, which is something we don't see a lot. The Chamber, I'm like that they've gone back to it. I think Chamber can bring a lot on Lotus. I think it lets you lock these angles, and I also think it gives you this kind of contacty more style on attack.
We saw some cool stuff from this Global Esports comp, like how they control A main with utilities, and also spreading it on other sites as well.
Comfort pick, comfort composition for themselves.
I just love that they still have that 13-0 spray on them on the Talon side.
You would think Global Esports would get at least 10 rounds on their defense half, but Talon went crazy on their reads and executed their hits perfectly.
It's just outside of range, and Jitboys gets a double Governor there for the cover as well. Everybody getting taken down by Jitboys. The force as well, that's going to be very important. You mentioned how good are the retakes going to be when you're having this tough of a time, but outside of that, I mean, it's going to, he gets right behind him with it as well as Governor trades for him. That's a good little maneuver there. But outside of that, once you get that tour de force, once you get the operator,
Crystal is starting to think back in towards a possible B pinch, but Ban continuing to push up, gets away with another kill.
And there's the barrier mesh as well, so no one going to be able to funnel in through. But Yudotan, I love this position. He has to get ahead of it. He has to get two, but he misses on that wide swing. Not quite expecting them to just not fight him at all. Governor with a free kill himself. There are the salvos, but they should be able to get out. Lots of damage taken, so Ban now takes it upon himself to make sure that they can secure this round. The chamber.
Does have a good sight line at the very least. Oh, my Governor! He just sprays into Yudotan!
It's a nice forward position. Obviously, we've seen that evolve over the course of 2024. Jitboy's already through. Poppy's ready for it. That smoke. Can't just go out of it like that, but Primmie instantly striking on the other side. Good adjustments on the macro rounds between the two teams. This time, Talon really brings up the speed. Oh, and Primmie's just digging deep into enemy territory. This is already a save.
And now in play on the A site. G tries to go for the quick B hit instead. But unfortunately, Talon's all prepared for it. Jit Boys and Primmie, they're able to hold down the exits. Still down to the one-on-ones. Primmie will be able to strike back. And there's that pickup. Now tries to go a little bit more aggressive alongside Jit Boys. The flash will be sent through. Primmie is good for the head-to-head. And down to Jit Boys taking that duel against Poppy.
Talon was still cooking on their defense, getting an 11-point lead in round 16. Global Esports hit back with 3 consecutive round wins, and the next round was a crucial round to win for Global Esports because this breaks Talon's economy.
Scan, but not quite finding anything too much. Just Darren marking the angle in with the op while the rest of the team tries to kind of poke and prod through to the C site.
Here comes the Prowler. Oh, it's a nice wide swing as well. Governor baits him in, knows it's going to be the re-challenge. That's a big kill. So much of the map now given over to Talon. They have so much control. You still have Jit Boys holding on to Rubble. B main completely under their control until the reclear comes in from Poppy. It's all up to Poppy once again, but for now the main force looking at C site.
A little bit unfortunate, right? No rendezvous, so now backed into it through the smokes, and Primmie's able to take the first shot.
Poppy's got to win this fight. He needs to open an extra option, but he can't. And look at Cruz. He knows he just doesn't have to give up that kill. But meanwhile, Crystal tries to get one, but Kelly not able to get the trade. There's a showstopper to push them away. Lands right at Crystal's feet. And Poppy, yeah, you had one clutch, but will they even give you the opportunity? 30 seconds left. He gets one. Spikes down. He has it.
But Talon was able to win the round, putting them on map point, and then they closed up the map on the next round.
Darian takes a lot of hits this time, trying to weave in between. You gotta imagine just the way that G's been playing. There's that operator. Governor is ready for it. What a setup from Talon. And that may be the bells ringing against GE. In B main, here come the paint shells. Here comes the paranoia. The absolute chariot of Talon pushes through. There's no reason for Talon to budge. There it is. Primmie gets ahead of it as well. There's the refresh on the smoke. Okay, not fast enough. Kellius gets it. The flash is ready. He antis it, but he turns just too fast. Gives him the full flash.
So now maybe a bit of an opportunity to get the spike down at the very least alongside the conflict defined, but Governor gets ahead of it. It's a quick flick shot into Poppy. All down to Kellius. Comes in with a shorty, but Governor, point blank range, still makes it happen. Talon closes out the map.
We know what we're doing. Governor closes things out. Primmie leads the board, and Talon Esports will continue.
Talon looked good in this series, especially their reads and how they patiently played against these heavy defense comps that Global Esports use. People were asking about Primmie being on Teho, and this is what Governor has to say.
So what kind of conversations led to that conclusion? Can you talk us about that?
I think one day he just said, I want to play Teho, bro.
It was him?
Yeah.
And you guys were like, and he was like, and you guys were like, okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it worked out role-wise because, I mean, I know we got kind of owned down split, but role-wise, it just made more sense for him to go on Teho so that me and Joseph could go, or me and Ben could go the double duelist. So it was a mixture of like, it just worked, but, you know, he kind of wanted to do it as well.
Also, there is this response from their coach Frost in an interview.
So that the Primmie wasn't playing on Duelist today. Can you comment on that, please?
Yeah, Primmie doesn't really want to play Duelist. I think Primmie can be probably the best Duelist in Pacific, but I also think that Primmie enjoys playing as many H's as possible. So this year, we're going to tinker with the idea of, last year, Ban was playing like 15 agents. I think this year, Primmie is going to be the flex. How long that lasts, where it goes, we don't know, but also, he was grinding Teho when he came out, so he wanted to play it. So it's like, you know, he has the most reps on the agent, just came out, the agent's strong, he wants to play it. He's giving us positive feedback in terms of like, hey, what's good is this, you know, blah, 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 blah. He's, you know, engaged with the ideas. So you want to help that creativity by allowing him to play the agents that he likes so he's more comfortable. But yeah, he can be a very good duelist. Just so happens that we also have a really good duelist in Governor.
Yes.
And Governor is fearless. So, I mean, there's rounds today where we do not, I'm not sure any other duelist other than Governor could have helped us get out of some of the problems that we got into. So I was very happy with Gov and his performance on Duelist. Ban can also play Duelist. At Champs, we had Ban on maps that some of them we didn't show. He was playing Duelist too, so I have too many Duelists, basically.
That's it for the video. Please leave a sub and a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.